Alright, what's going on, traders? Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be going over the stocks that I traded today. So let's get started. This is how my P&L is looking today. Finishing up a little more than 260 bucks, almost $270 on the day. So let's get started with the trades. Um, as you guys can see, I have Roku on the chart because Roku was my first trade of the day. We have it as a 156.67 short position with a $186 loser. So now getting into Roku, we can see Roku had a gap up and then crashed down, crash. Now, even though Roku reported good earnings and it had a good catalyst on the day, it still led to a gap down. So this is a perfect example of don't be biased. Just because something has good news doesn't mean it has to go up. And so this was a very good example on this. And yeah, we can see clear selling pressure from Roku since yesterday afternoon once it gapped up. And coming into today, um, I took it short 156.67. So 156.67 was about here. So exactly here. Um, I took it a little early in complete honesty, but I knew what I was looking for. I saw it nice, and I had a $1.50 stop. So my stop was a little wider than normal, but um, with the selling pressure and the tape reading that I was looking at, I felt comfortable with taking this trade a little bit early. So I took it on the breakdown of anticipating this breakdown right here. So once this came, pulled up, and then got sold back down, I noticed that selling pressure was 100% in control over the buyers at this very moment because it tried to push up, it got sold back down, and then it even came down to the lowers once I entered this trade. So I finished $156, so I made almost my 3 to 1. So my 3 to 1 would have been $3 exactly. $3 would have been right here, but I made $14 less, so I probably sold it roughly here for an average sell of right here. So I had a fantastic sell, and yeah, that was my Roku trade. Didn't want to let any shares ride because it had such a rapid move to the downside, and I knew with a move like this, it was more than due for a bigger pullback than what would it have done. But this is more just like a shock in the morning, shock value. So I made sure to sell into profits, and that's how I finished $186 on Roku today. So now taking a look at the next trade, we're going to be taking a look at TWOU, $40 winner, $44 short. So I got in TWOU with a 44 short. Now, usually I would let this hit my stop loss, but this was kind of a different case. As you guys can see, we had a clear descending pattern, and it was creating very tight consolidation in this area of $44. And so I had my stop about 10 cents. Now with a stop so tight like this, um, and having noticing that it has much bigger pullbacks after every push down, like it's not a clear breakdown stock, uh, not like this in the morning, but this is more like a period of consolidation, and it is more than due for pullbacks. So with this 10-cent stop, I decided to take profits where I could. So I was once in a 10 cents profit with spread. It was probably like 8, 7 cents. I was probably up like 70 bucks. But once I saw this noticing coming back on me, I took it for a $40 winner, a quick scalp. And as you guys can see, if I would have held it, it would have stopped me out. Now, there's nothing wrong with that trade. That trade was perfect. But I should have took the next trades after. As you guys can see, we had another trade here. Same pattern, you see. And then we had a trade over here actually. So I was looking for this trade. I missed it. because it's a 90 cents. It usually breaks through quicker, but I had time to get in this because there was some fighting. So $44 was the easy entry. 90 cents was a little harder entry with the 25-cent stop up here. I missed that move. This move, I'm just like, nah, it's a little bit lower than I would like to. The risk reward's not as great, so I'm just gonna skip out on that trade. And as you guys can see, I paid for it by not taking it. So that was my mistake on that trade. Um, not taking those trades. But as you guys can see right here, we have Western Digital, so WDC ticker symbol, and we can see that it has clear lower highs, a period of lower highs, and we had a support level over here. We topped out and just kept finding lower highs. Now, a brief little note on lower highs is every time it tries to, once it gets like slammed, once it gets pushed down, and it comes back up, this is like a resting period. This is like a take profit area, and then this is where people decide to re-enter the stock, and they see it is not as valuable and not as good of a price as it was before. This is what causes it to have like topped out at lower prices. So this is what I mean by lower highs, and this is technically a bearish sign because it is struggling to get back up to certain levels that I had before. So it's not just it showing like a pattern, but this is price action at its finest, you know. So let's take a look at my trade. So WDC, I took it short at $37.98 with a $43 win. So $37.98. $37.98. All right. So this wasn't managed well, in complete honesty, but I'll be showing you guys why exactly. So I got in, as you can see, a little after the $38 breakdown. Notice clear selling from the jump and wanted to get in at 38. Got 2 cents fill late. I had about a 30-cent stop. So I had my stop up here, and we had an initial move down. We had a nice consolidation, a breakdown, a push up. So once I had a push up here, and in complete honesty, I'm supposed to stick to my plan and stick to my stop loss. But after having my winner, psychologically, I just didn't feel comfortable taking a full $100 loss. And guess what? That exact thought in my head made me pay for it. So I took a half shares off for actually a loss, like a $40 loser or something, like up here. I don't know exactly where, but it was about here somewhere, I'm guessing. And it curled back down, and it hit my 2 to 1. So my 2 to 1 was actually 60 cents. So if I would have waited for this push down, this consolidation, boom, 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 no reason to sell here, a continuation of the downtrend, I would have hit my 2 to 1. But instead, I only came out for a $43 winner because I took half shares off. Yeah, I let my shares ride and I sold it somewhere around here. But as you guys can see, this is what happens when you break your plan. And all you got to do is ask yourself one question: does your plan make more money than you do? And if you know how to answer that question, and if you get an answer out of yourself, um, that shows you that you need to do some changing. So yep. So that concludes this video. I really hope you guys found this helpful, and I also hope you found this mini lecture helpful. I hope it gave you some clarity about trading. And if you found this video in any way helpful to you, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions or suggestions, leave them down below. And this concludes this video. So thanks for watching, and until next time.